therefore, my beloved, flee from idolatry. There's actually 3 times that Paul uses that term, flee. He says, flee from sexual immorality, flee from idolatry, and then he tells Timothy to flee from youthful lusts. That's it. And he says, flee, run. You guys, this was super convicting to me. How many times do we react that way in life? Where we go, this is too much for me to handle. I need to run. I think that goes counter to our culture. I think our culture goes, I got this. I'm strong enough. My faith is strong enough. I'm strong enough. My marriage is strong enough. My kids are strong enough. We trick ourselves into thinking this thing, and God's saying, run. You guys all seen the meme? I should have brought that up, right? That meme where it goes, run. And then it's like somebody run. Have you guys seen this? I don't know how. Anyway, okay, Google that afterwards. I'll post it on the family page. That's what he sees. He goes, you aren't strong enough. And yet our culture, our society embraces that and says, no, you should be. And don't claim you're not. Because weakness isn't a virtue in our culture. And God goes, well, actually, what does Paul say? I boast in my weakness because that makes him stronger. He says, I want you to run, flee from idolatry. So here's the question then. What is idolatry? Let's spend a little bit of time on that. Is that just some worship of ancient gods? Anybody here got like a wooden statue that they bow down to every morning? Probably not, I hope. If you do, come find me afterwards and we'll talk a little bit. He says, flee from idolatry. Idolatry is not just the worship of these like ancient gods. It is putting anything on the throne, right? The altar of our praise. What do we praise instead of God? That's idolatry. When we supplant God, we move him to the side, and instead we put something as the focus of our worship. Here's the thing, though. It's not a deed. It's not like you're going to go out and go like, hey, today I'm going to go do some idolatry. It doesn't work like that. It's a desire of the heart. It's a disordered desire of the heart. It's when we begin worshiping the creation instead of the creator. It's when we take the things that God created that are good and are blessings and are beautiful, and we say, that's what I'm about, instead of being about that. Instead of being about the cross. Instead of being about proclaiming the gospel in our lives. That is where idolatry comes into our lives. And he says that this is common to man. This temptation that he's talking about, this is the idolatry. He goes, what you guys are dealing with here is idolatry. You guys are taking these things, you're putting them on this pedestal in your life, and you're going, this is my everything. If this went away, my life comes crumbling down. Name it. What is it in your life? If the rug gets pulled out on this one thing, does your life come crumbling down? Because what doesn't move is the foundation that is in Jesus Christ. Immovable. It will never go away. This is why God proclaims that this is the gospel, the good news, because it's immovable. It will always be there. And that's why we find joy and peace and contentment in there, because as Warner was talking about earlier, right, as we go through a life of chaos and twists and turns and unpredictable things, all that happens in our life is this rug gets pulled out from us and we catch our footing, just run to this way, right? Doesn't it feel like our life can be like that? And that's an indication of our idolatry.